Hello, my name is Colby Shephard. I'm here to do my midterm report for Business 101. So throughout this course, we have learned a great deal of ideas for business and seeing how they thrive. We have learned about principles in business that affect us directly and others that work indirectly with us. There have been three topics that I have found interesting. Those include the three economic systems, capitalism, socialism, and communism, and business ownerships and the McGregor theory, so between X and Y theories. Each one of these subjects affects me as I work in the banking industry, and being knowledgeable on these subjects helps me understand the need for what customers are looking for. So in Chapter 2, we discuss three different economic systems that are used today. These include capitalism, socialism, and communism. Capitalism is the economic system that is implemented in America, in which all or most of the factors of production and distribution are privately owned and operated for profit. This economic system is what makes America so great. It gives people the ability to make unlimited potential. So with capitalism, we don't necessarily are owned by a government, which gives people the ability to make that potential they need to in business. So that's why we're able to have a wealth of billionaires like Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates or even Steve Jobs, where they're able to invent or create a company and are able to make those profits there. So capitalism is based on four basic rights: the right to own private property, the right to own a business and keep the business's profits, the right to freedom of competition, and the right of freedom of choice. So these basics help construct the free market of capitalism there. So benefits of capitalism is that it allows for open competition among companies. It provides opportunities for the poor people to work there and make their way up through the class. So we have the lower class, the middle class, the upper class. And with the potential of capitalism, those who work in the lower class are able to move up their class systems with what they are able to invent or create. And it's not very much goes to the government, just in taxes. So some limitations or negativity of capitalism include the income equality, which creates a social division. So since we do have those classes, we do have the upper class, those who make billions a year, and the lower class who may not make much of an income, living in two different spectrums, and that can cause a clash in how the systems work and different belief systems. The excess of resources become waste when we're able to not put a limit on a certain resource. They can overproduce and then at times come to waste. Another economic system is called socialism, where it is based on the premise that some or most basic businesses should be owned by the government so profits can be evenly distributed among people. So this system works over in Canada, and entrepreneurs run smaller businesses and citizens are usually taxed higher. So those who make more money are taxed, and their taxes go to those only in benefits to the lower income ranges. So everyone is at the same level there. So those benefits do include like a social equality, a free education, free healthcare, longer vacations, and shorter work weeks. So the negative benefits on socialism is less incentives for businesses to take those risks because they have less money to make, longer waits for healthcare, and loss of professions including doctors, lawyers, and business owners. So because they're not able to make that much in their fields, they don't see much of a drive for there. Also with the health benefits, it does take a lot longer for them to get in and get checked out, so that can cause health bad things for their health there. And then the last system is communism. It is the third economic system in which the government makes almost all the economic decisions and owns almost all the major factors of production. So these prices do not reflect demands, and they lead to shortages. So with communism, they're the ones that set all the prices. They're the ones that own the businesses. So that leaves a lot of people in poverty, and it's not fair for those people there, while the upper class and the government become rich. Most countries like this, Russia is one of them, they also suffer severe economic depression as well. So the second part I found interesting was for businesses to start an individual needs and understanding the basic forms of business ownership, where the difference between the sole proprietorship, partnerships, and corporations. So at my current job that I work at, I open up accounts for businesses, and a lot of the businesses I work with are sole proprietors. So understanding what a sole proprietorship helps me with what I do with my job there. So a sole proprietorship are businesses that are owned and usually managed by a single person. Businesses that run under these ownerships tend to be for those who are run by one-man businesses, including like plumbers, electricians, and artists. So the advantage of these is it's easy to start and end the business, so there's no real tie over. You don't have to work with another person to come up with ideas. It's just you able to do that, so you're able to become your own boss. Retention for company profits, so you don't have to divide them out to coworkers or any of that. There, you keep whatever you make, and there's also no special taxes for it either. Disadvantages would be unlimited liability. So if something were to happen, they won't just come after your business, but they can also come after you as a person. So your assets aren't business assets; they're both personal and business. So they can come after your personal assets as well. If they take on debts, they are responsible to pay those debts off as well. Where with opening a business with a partnership, if they have that liability where they don't have to do that. It can be an overwhelming time commitment as well because you are a one-person job. It doesn't necessarily state when or when you can't stop your job. You are constantly on the clock to be working. And then also benefits as well is much more difficult because you are the only one and your company does not provide benefits unless you have to pay for them out of your pocket. The second ownership is a partnership, and this is where two or more people legally own their business. There are 3 of them total: general partner, limited partner, and limited liability. The ones I work with at my job are limited liability, where I have customers or members come in and they want to open up a business with another member. So the responsibility of these business owners are they are responsible for their losses only up to the amount that they invest, and limited partners and shareholders have limited liability. So the advantage of that is if their business does go under, it doesn't go personally towards them. It just goes towards the business, and the business is what owes the money, not necessarily goes after them personally. The advantages are you have more financial resources. You have 2 people, so you're able to pool your skills together and come up with problem solving. And there's no special taxes for that there. Disadvantages of the partnerships is the division of the profits, so you do have to share it between the 2 members of the party. There can also be disagreement among partners. You want to take the company in different directions. And the difficulty of termination as well. Both people have to agree, and it can kind of get messy is what I've learned at my job as well when they don't speak to each other. The third ownership is a corporation, which is a state chartered level legal entity with the authority to act and have the liabilities separate of its owners. So advantages of these are there's limited liability, the ability to raise more money for investment. They're bigger size, ease of ownership change, ease of attracting talented employees. With corporations, you have big businesses. Starbucks is one of the big corporations that we know about. They hire lots of people and they need lots of jobs filled. They also have that ability to hire those in higher positions as well, which seems very attractive to those who are looking to make higher wages. The disadvantage of corporations are the initial cost. It's a lot of the startup paperwork, you get taxed twice, or you're limited to double taxation, 2 different tax returns, and difficulty to termination, and conflict with stockholders because they're the ones that are partial ownerships of the company, and so they do have a say in what to do. So it's important for business owners to know who started a business and leaning towards this goal is. It's important for me to know this because working in the credit union industry, because I have to talk to the businesses ownerships under these ownerships for that they understand and that the products that we offer are best for them too. So the last area I found interesting was in Chapter 10 where we discussed the different management types with Douglas McGregor. He believed there were 2 different separate theories on how managers made to set the assumptions towards their workers. So there were 2 different theories, which are theories X and Y. So those who work in the X assumptions are workers that dislike work and seek to avoid it. Workers must be forced, controlled, directed, or threatened with punishment to get them through to perform. Workers prefer to be directed and avoided responsibly, and primary motivators are fear of punishment. So with those ones there, it's more those employees who don't have the motivation to be there. The work environment might not be great. They have goals that they might have to reach. For them to reach those goals, the management has to push on them and harp on them to be able to do that for them. Theory-Y assumptions are people who like to work. It's part of their life. Workers see goals in which they are committed to do. Commitment for the goals depend on perceived rewards, and most people will seek responsibility. People can use this creativity to solve problems as well. So the main difference between the X and Y theory is how the worker looks at it. Are they happy with their work life? With those there, they are able to specify that they're in the theory Y assumption. And with that there and where I currently work at, my work does a lot more of empowering for people. So they give you the tools to work, and they give you the incentives to work. If you meet your goals, they have great goals incentives. They have great benefit incentives. A lot of those there. So I feel like I work in a theory Y workplace where everyone there that I'm around likes to work. There's no necessary. I wouldn't say I haven't met a bad apple yet there. So I've been having a good time at my work and all of that. I see people with the theory X assumptions are those who have those limits or those goals that they're not able to attain with very little rewards back for them. So I see those being more like those entering into the workforce, like a fast food worker or a teenager's first job, where they're not necessarily there to expand at the time, but they're there to kind of pick up a paycheck, don't really want to take responsibility, and I feel like those ones fit into theory X assumptions, and with those ones, those employees do need to be pushed. So in conclusion, we have looked over both different economic systems that are used globally, the different ownership of businesses, and the two different theories of McGregor between theories X and Y. I've enjoyed learning in this class, and have been doing great, and I like how I'm able to assess what I'm learning in this class to set towards my career. Thank you very much. Bye.